serving your spouse gets a bad rap, right?
True.
I mean, who really wants to think about serving their spouse or their spouse serving them? Well, you may think, hey,
It might be kind of nice.
go fix me chicken pot pie or something like that. So,
Right.
But yeah, so today, that's what we're talking about, because we would say that actually serving one another is a good thing.
Hi, we are David and Theresa Mabry from One Another Marriage, coming to you again. And if you have not liked one of our videos yet or seen us on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell for notifications so that you are notified when we put out a new content video.
And today's video on serving one another is part of a 5-part series. We would contend that when you love one another, serve one another, touch one another, encourage or edify one another, and have peace with one another, the love step, when you do this on a regular basis, consistently over time, you will have a long-lasting, healthy, happy, and more satisfying marriage.
And so to start off, we're going to be giving you 4 points today about serving one another. And like David already shared, it does get a little bit of the bad rap, right? Where we don't want to be like beholden to someone or be the one that's always doing the serving. But our 4 points today, first one is when you can seek to serve, it can block selfishness or that sinfulness, right? So if I want to serve David in a way that shows him love or encourages him or just, out of the goodness of my heart, if I'm looking at it with that positive mindset, that really does block that selfishness within me where it's like, well, he doesn't do this back to me or whatever. So, which,
That's right.
Right? I mean, that's what we say back and forth.
That's right.
Okay.
The second component would be submitting, which once again, I think that serving one another gets a bad rap. But we think of this, many people are turned off by the submission word.
Yeah.
We would contend that it's a mutual submission, that it's back and forth. But let's kind of retool or redefine what submission is a bit, if your brain's kind of thinking of it in a negative context. We would say that it's similar to pulling out the best in your partner and thinking the best of your partner. And that's the third thing, would be allowing your partner to influence you. And really, submission, the large part of submission is that you are allowing your partner to influence you, which research would show that spouses that allow their partners to influence them have happier and more satisfying relationships. So submission, allow your partner to influence you in a positive way.
Our third point would be serving without complaining. That's a big one. That's a tough one. It's a tough one for me, right? So serving without complaining, that can actually block the grumbling that takes place, right? So let's say that there was that specific chore, something around the house, and it's kind of like, well, I've done this chore by myself, blah, blah, blah. And we spend most of our time doing the chore, grumbling under our breath, muttering around, right? This is not helpful in your marriage in that way. So trying to remember that mindset of doing an act of service or being serving in whatever way encourages your spouse, in doing it without that complaining.
And a lot of times, doesn't it negate the positive act of service, right? When we complain, it either puts a dark cloud over it, or it kind of negates kind of the good thing going on, which that directly connects to our fourth and final aspect of serving one another, which would be humility. And so having humility with one another, which can be a difficult thing as well, but really that is a huge component in the marriage relationship. Serving one another requires humility. If I thought that there were certain jobs in the house or roles in the house or acts of service around that, no, those are Teresa's and I'm not touching that kind of thing. That's beneath me, which is kind of crazy to say about your spouse, but sometimes we think it or we may feel it. But let's turn that on its ear and say, you know what? Humility is a good thing. Thinking the best of your partner, pulling out the best of your partner, letting them influence you. All of this connects with being humble as well.
Right. So our contention is, once again, that that your marriage should be a mutually beneficial, reciprocal relationship. That's a lot of words right there. But basically, it's circular. It's going round and round. Each one's pouring into the other one through the areas of the love step: loving one another, serving one another, touch one another, edify one another, have peace with one another. But we do recognize you may be in a relationship where maybe that is not mutually beneficial, right? It's okay though, because you can still serve, you can still seek to serve in a more positive manner, you can still serve without complaint, you can still be humble, you can still submit in a way that you would be the one influencing your partner. So you can still have service within your marriage, even if it's one of you doing more of it than the other person.
Absolutely. So what about you? So what are some areas that you enjoy serving or being served within your relationship? What are 3 specific ways that you can serve your spouse, and 3 ways that you actually appreciate when your spouse serves you? We want to challenge you to do a couple things. First off is that put them in the comments below. Let's have a discussion here. And the second thing is that's a question for you and your spouse. We want you to have a takeaway for this video today.
Right. So remember, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and until next time, we'll be with you.
Take care. Bye.